morning, and it's so wonderful to be here with you. For those I don't know, I'm Alicia Benson, and I'm the CEO of Greater Spokane Incorporated, and I just have the distinct honor of getting to serve this great region and working with so many of you day in and day out to move our community and our region forward. On behalf of GSI and our event partners, the Greater Spokane Valley Chamber of Commerce and the West Plains Chamber of Commerce, I want to welcome you, and I want to ask my colleagues, Mark Losh and Lance Beck, presidents and CEOs of each of their chambers, to stand up so we can give you a bit of recognition. Incredible partners that we get to work with on hosting the State of the County address, and also in the day in, day out of how we think about how we support this community, whether it's small business support across the region, our public policy and advocacy agendas, business climate, workforce, the things that are keeping each of us up at night. We get to wake up and work with our partners at the chambers every single day, and so just a real honor for me and for our team to have great partners as we think collectively for how we move this region forward. So thank you, Lance and Mark. And as we know, it takes each and every one of us. So we're proud together to present the State of the County address for 2022 and to be able to hear from Commissioner Mary Kuney as she's able to highlight some of the victories of this past year, some of the opportunities ahead, and some really just exciting work that the county leads day in and day out on behalf of this region. So to get us started, I want to invite Pastor Vladimir Cronin to the stage for our invocation. Pastor Cronin serves as the pastor of the Pilgrim Slavic Baptist Church, as well as church relations at Thrive International. Please join me in welcoming Pastor Cronin.
Hello and blessings, everyone. It is an honor for me to be here today and share and pray with you. It was September 2001, 21 years ago, when I immigrated from Ukraine as a 15-year-old boy. I have 5 siblings, and my father wanted to give us opportunity to get higher education, explore new opportunities, and America was the great place for it. So throughout all those years, I feel being supported in a career path I took, in education opportunities, in grants and scholarship opportunities while studying at Eastern Washington University. And now being a pastor and doing lots of community work, I still feel supported. When the war broke off in Ukraine and lots of Ukrainians start fleeing all over the world, and many of them were coming to Spokane, we as Slavic community, we felt prayers and support, especially support from Spokane County to grant funds to Thrive International to help those Ukrainians in a time of need. It was so touching to hear when we were contacting the families, letting them know what the check amount they are getting for the help that we received. It was so touching to hear, the gratitude, emotions, praise from those people. So generosity of Spokane County to our people this year was huge. And it was not just words of comfort, but actions and deeds. So thank you, Mary, and all your team from Spokane County to do that. And so before we pray today, I would like to share a verse from the book of Jeremiah, chapter 29, verse 7. Also seek the peace and prosperity of the city to which I have carried you into exile. Pray to the Lord for it, because if it prospers, you too will prosper. Lots of Ukrainians found peace in Spokane. So I would like to pray for all of us, pray for our city, pray for our officials. So let us pray. Lord Jesus, blessed be your name. Thank you for all blessings we receive from you daily. We thank you for support from the Spokane County that many Ukrainians received this year in a time of need. We thank you for another milestone in our city and Mary's great year of service. Bless her team with wisdom and guidance. Bless all the people who gathered here today. Bless our families. Please bring prosperity and peace to Spokane. Protect us from evil. Bring us unity. Teach us how to seek the peace and prosperity of our city. Thank you for this great food we are about to eat. Thank you for your provision. Bless it for us. Bless this event and all who will share and report today. And I pray in Jesus' name. Amen. Thank you.
Thank you, Pastor Cronin, and it's a pleasure and real honor to have you and your wife Anna here with us this afternoon. So thank you for what you wake up and do every day. Next, I'd like to welcome up United States Air Force SEER Specialist David Hewson, who is off duty today. He's going to join us here on the stage for the national anthem. If you'll please rise and stand. Thank you, David. I'd have to say that's probably one of the most rockin' renditions I've heard in a while. And also a huge thank you to you for your service to our country day in and day out. Just an honor to have you here. And now joining me on stage, I get to welcome Charlotte Nemec, the CEO of Canopy Credit Union. Charlotte is a passionate Spokane leader, and we're also honored to have her serve as the treasurer of our GSI Board of Trustees. So with that, I'll invite Charlotte up here. Canopy Credit Union has been our presenting sponsor for a number of years, and we just thank you for your ongoing and continued partnership.
Thank you, Alicia. And I guess I should say good morning, everyone. Welcome. I know Alicia just introduced me as the CEO of Canopy Credit Union, and yes, that is true. But I'm also a brain surgeon. Okay, that might be actually insulting to the actual brain surgeons in the audience, so let me clarify. I grew up on a cattle ranch in Montana, and during branding season, the person in charge of castration is considered the brain surgeon. The idea is that castration will cause the bull calf to change his mind from chasing the girl calves and instead focus on eating grass. So yes, that was me at the ripe age of 10 years old, being tasked by my dad with the role of brain surgeon. It sounds horrifying to me today, but back then I was actually really thrilled to be given that responsibility. My dad instilled in me a belief that I could do anything the boys could do, and that hard work and determination will help you achieve big things in life. I am deeply grateful for that part of my childhood. Unfortunately, the gratitude toward my dad was diminished when he walked away from my mom and 16-year-old me, taking with him all of the money in our bank accounts, including the funds set aside for my college education. Our ranch and home went into foreclosure when I was a senior in high school. I watched my mom struggle to find a way to support us, and I started working 3 jobs in the hopes of saving every penny to keep my dream of a college education alive. When I think about that difficult season in my life, I am always reminded of how lucky I was to have been surrounded by such a supportive community. My mom was resourceful, my grandparents were super supportive, and my small town truly cared about what happened to me and my family. Through this experience, I gained a tremendous respect and appreciation for money and the power of community. Fast forward several years, I had moved from Montana to Spokane and landed a position in HR with Canopy Credit Union. It was in that first role at Canopy that I realized this organization is where I could truly put my challenges with money, coupled with my passion for supporting local communities like Spokane County, to use. I'm proud of the work our organization does and how it truly cares about the story of each of our members and our employees, stories that often remind me of my own childhood experiences. At Canopy, we know that by listening to the story behind a member's colorful or no credit history, we can come alongside them and coach them to a stronger financial future. We truly believe that whether you're financially thriving or struggling, when we take the time to understand you and your financial goals, we're helping to build a happier and healthier community. Canopy's story of helping our community thrive through financial inclusion started in 1956, when a group of Spokane County employees came together to form Spokane Federal Credit Union, our previous name. Without county employees, Canopy's mission and impact would never have come to fruition. We thank the employees of the county for continuing to support us and trust us as their credit union. Although we've now expanded to serve more of our community, our gratitude and commitment to our county employees is unending. Because of Canopy's continued partnership with Spokane County, it is my honor and privilege to kick off the State of the County address. I'm looking forward to hearing from one of my favorite county employees, Commissioner Kuney, and learning more about how we can continue to support Spokane County. I would like to thank Alicia and the entire team of GSI for hosting this event, but more especially for providing extenuating a lovely degree of service to the Pacific Northwest with strong leadership and advocacy, economic development, as well as talent attraction and retention. The work GSI is doing will continue to help build a stronger Spokane County. Finally, I would be remiss not to thank my team who are here today in attendance today, as well as my husband, and of course, a shout out to Dr. V for his support and helping me gain the fortitude to be able to stand up in front of all of you. Without them, I couldn't do this. And also, today is another special day. Today happens to be my husband's birthday. Happy birthday, love. Thank you for taking the time to be here today to listen to the county updates and show support for our community. Whether you're a county employee, small business owner, supportive community member, or an actual brain surgeon, what we all have in common is our desire to see a happy and healthy community. Thank you for listening, and I'll turn it back over to Alicia.
And now for the reason that we're all gathered here today, the State of the County Address. Our keynote today is Commissioner Mary Kuney, Chair of the Board of County Commissioners. Commissioner Kuney is a longtime resident of Spokane, graduating from both Central Valley School District and Gonzaga University with a degree in accounting. I didn't hear the zags here in the room. Gotta carry that theme on here. After college, Mary worked for a major accounting firm in San Francisco before returning to Spokane to stay, where she met her husband, Max, and they are the parents of 2 grown children, Connie and Jeff. During her career as a certified public accountant, Mary spent 10 years as a Washington state auditor, auditing cities, counties, and school districts. Mary is an appointed member of the Air Force's Select Air Education and Training Command Civic Leader Program and a strong supporter of Fairchild Air Force Base. She served on the Hutton Board since 2009 and continues to advocate for the underserved and all youth here in our community. She was appointed as a District 2 County Commissioner in 2017 and elected to the Board of County Commissioners in 2018. Please join me in welcoming Commissioner Mary Kuney.
Wow, it's amazing to see everybody back, because it was 2019 when I was here and gave the State of the County address before we closed everything down for a while. So it's great in those 3 years to see all the people that I barely knew then that now I consider friends. So thank you. Thank you, Alicia, for that warm introduction. And welcome and thank you for joining us today for the 2022 State of Spokane County. Thank you, Airman First Class David Hewson. That was a way to energize the crowd and rock it. Thank you. And then thank you also to Vladimir Cronin. Really appreciate your words and your thoughtfulness. Together Forward is my theme for today's presentation. It has been my personal mantra since I've taken over in the last 9 months as serving as the chair of Spokane Board of County Commissioners. I have focused on moving the county into a future by building partnerships to collaborate on important initiatives and priorities for our community. In my time as serving as your Spokane County Commissioner, the projects that mean the most to me have had the biggest impact are those that involve teamwork, collaboration, and working together towards a common goal. 3 years ago, when I presented the State of the County, my personal slogan was success through teamwork. As we concluded the public health emergency, to me, it is more important than ever to be together forward as we move into the future. As I speak to constituents throughout Spokane County, one of the things I hear the most is that people are astonished by the number of departments and services that fall within the scope of their local Spokane County government. Our county government provides a variety of services from law enforcement to roads, parks to permitting, licensing to land use, mental health care to housing. So join me as we take a glimpse into a few of the services provided to the community by Spokane County.
Spokane County, our mission is really to be the preeminent organization that provides the best-in-class services to the community. We're comprised of 2,000 dedicated employees that provide outstanding services to the entire community. Our county is actually comprised of more than 50 departments, from criminal justice to our parks department to the roads and the transportation network, from a medical examiner office to a fairgrounds. And it's really a very diverse set of functions that we provide.
Our services are comprised of financial transition and reintegration services, being able to connect them to their federal VA benefits. Spokane is home to 44,000 veterans, with our surrounding counties bringing in another 20,000 on top of that. So we have a great relationship with Fairchild. A lot of folks transition out of Fairchild Air Force Base and make Spokane their home. So we have a really strong bond with our veteran community here. You're going to get assigned to someone who's going to help you through the process, whether it's filing for a VA claim or asking for financial assistance or just finding out more information about your VA education benefits. It's an easy process when you have a battle buddy to walk through it with you, and that's exactly what we have here. The most important part of our mission and serving those who served is it's done in a positive service honoring environment and with positive service honoring staff. No matter what they're coming to us for, as far as veterans programs, services, and benefits, we just want to make sure that they have a very edifying and positive experience throughout, and they feel honored for the service that they've already given.
The primary responsibility of the medical examiner's office is to investigate deaths occurring in Spokane County that are of public health or public safety interest. So that includes deaths that are due to violence or injury, deaths where drugs may have played a role, and deaths in which the person was young, they were in seemingly good health, and we don't have a good reason for their death. But the medical examiner work also provides information on what drugs are circulating in our community, who's overdosing on those drugs, where are fatal car crashes occurring, and what factors are involved in those crashes, how and how frequently community members are committing suicide, who among us is dying because of lack of medical care or lack of adequate housing. We have a lot of highly trained, highly skilled people working here. The office as a whole is accredited by the National Association Association of Medical Examiners. It is one of less than 100 out of 2,300 offices that do death investigation that has such an accreditation. Understanding how and why people are dying in our community helps us understand how people are living in our community and provide a framework for us to look at ways that people can live better and hopefully longer lives in Spokane County.
Public Works Department is responsible for constructing, maintaining, and operating all the roads in Spokane County. We maintain over 2,500 miles of roadway, 166 bridges, over 10,000 drainage structures. We have a fleet of trucks and graders, sweepers, all kinds of heavy road maintenance equipment that goes out, and we do snow removal, we do sweeping on roads. We have a separate fleet that helps us maintain the traffic signals and signs. We have 120 employees in our maintenance section that are dedicated to just getting people home safely, getting business and transportation and freight where it needs to go, and just making it a safer place to live.
So whether you choose to live, work, or play in the county, it's a place that our citizens can experience great service. It's a place where our workforce is dedicated to providing those sort of services to our community, and they delight in doing that.
As we all know, none of this can happen without a great team. And so I'd like to start with my fellow commissioners. I have the honor of serving with two other commissioners who oversee the business of Spokane County, of over 500,000 people. So today we have Commissioner Josh Kearns with us, and Commissioner Al French couldn't be with us today. He has another engagement with the Downtown Rotary. To continue with our team of elected officials, I would like them to please stand as I call their names, and we'll clap at the end for them. But it is truly a team of elected officials that we get to work with. So we have Treasurer Mike Baumgartner, Clerk Tim Fitzgerald, Sheriff Ozzie Knezevich, Auditor Vicki Dalton, Prosecutor Larry Haskell, and Assessor Tom Konis. In addition, we do have 12 Superior Court judges and 8 District Court judges. So I want to thank all of them for their service to Spokane County. And now let's talk about our amazing team of employees at Spokane County who work to make over 50 departments run seamlessly. On your tables, you'll see our 2022 budget highlights and a listing of some of our departments. With nearly 2,000 employees to serve in these departments, led by our CEO, Scott Simmons, the county is a major employer in our region. It is through their efforts that we are able to provide the high level of customer service to our citizens and to you. We here at Spokane County are guided by the mission to make Spokane County the best place to thrive, build a career, and have an unsurpassed quality of life. These people are the ones that are helping make that happen every day. So today, with my presentation, my goal is to shine a light on the following areas: a new form of government, the state of our economy, our parks and natural resource education, initiatives in behavioral health, and the state of law enforcement. So let's start with our new form of government at Spokane County. We are preparing for a significant change in the way that we will be representing our constituents and conducting our day-to-day business. Since 1879, Spokane County has been represented by 3 county commissioners. Historically, all 3 commissioners would run in their respective district during the primary, but in the general election, all county voters would have the opportunity to vote for all the commissioners. The state legislature in Olympia has required Spokane County to increase to 5 commissioners. In addition to adding the 2 new commissioner districts, the state legislation requires voters to only vote in their respective district in both the primary and the general. To split up Spokane County into 5 districts of equal populations, a redistricting committee was formed last year comprised of 2 Democrats and 2 Republicans. These 4 individuals worked tirelessly for months to create the new 5 districts that you'll see here today, as you can see on the screen. So for me, I will say, as I look across the room today, all of you are my constituents. And it saddens me to think that come January, only 20% of you I will be able to call my constituents. So regardless of my personal perspective, on the new legislation, the fact remains that on January 1st, 2023, there will be 5 county commissioners, each representing just their own district. It is my hope and belief that the commissioners will work together in this new form of government to continue to move the county together forward. Next, with our economy, we all look at the region through our own individual eyes and experiences. Growth and vitality must be viewed in each industry sector. The county is the foundation of our 13 municipalities and countless more businesses and nonprofits within our region. I am pleased to announce that Spokane County has once again maintained our AA+ bond rating, which is the highest rating for a county of our size. This ensures the lowest interest rates on bonds for our county and for our taxpayers. This also demonstrates the fiscal responsibility that our commissioners over the last several years have demonstrated. We continue to see through tremendous growth in sales tax revenue. We budgeted $68.5 million in sales tax revenue for 2022. Our current projections, though, show that we will exceed that by about $5 million. Another key indicator of economic growth is our value of new construction. So just this week, Assessor Tom Konis reported that we have a record-breaking year for commercial and residential construction that topped $1.5 billion. 4,600 properties make up this new construction value. This shows that we're about to hit $1 billion in new residential construction, which is significantly increasing our local housing capacity. These economic indicators, our bond rating, sales tax revenue, and new construction show again the county is in a strong economic position as we move together forward. 2 years ago, Spokane County was entrusted with $91 million of CARES Act funding that we put into the community for businesses, nonprofits, COVID response, food security, and child care. Many of you in the room today were recipients of some of those funds. Because of these strategic investments that the commissioners made, we had one of the most resilient counties for businesses in the state of Washington. Spokane County has now been entrusted with an additional $101 million of federal funding from the American Rescue Plan, known as ARP. These ARP dollars are need to be allocated by the end of 2024 and fully spent by December of 2026. As a county commissioner, it is my intent to use these once-in-a-lifetime funding opportunity to the highest and best use to have a lasting impact on all of our residents. As you can see on this slide, there are 5 main categories for ARP spending priorities. The number in bold is the total directed to each category, and underneath that amount is what's been awarded to date. As you can see in the gray section, this is where we have just over $6 million yet to be allocated of our $101 million. I would like to highlight now a few areas that we have spent our ARP allocation that illustrate how Spokane County is utilizing these funds. In January, we hosted a Council of Governments. In attendance were local government officials along with businesses and nonprofit leaders. One of the takeaways from these discussions was a desire for a regional priority. What rose to the top was education, workforce, and housing. One of the priorities that I felt very strongly about funding with ARP dollars was education. So I was pleased when the Board of County Commissioners voted to approve $5 million to help seed the Launch Northwest initiative. This initiative grows our post-high school educational and vocational attainment, which will supply us with a strong future workforce. Launch Northwest has been collectively funded by ARP dollars from Spokane County, City of Spokane Valley, making this a true regional priority. So I'm really excited that this will provide our youth hope and opportunity for the future. Another area we're focusing ARP dollars on is broadband. So we've had an allocation of $13 million to broadband, mostly dedicated to matching funds, as we work to leverage up to $50 million in additional broadband dollars from state and federal agencies. This will enhance our connectivity of underserved county residents regardless of income or geographic location. To support this effort, we created a broadband action team with local jurisdictions, nonprofits, and broadband companies, and this ensures that our monthly meetings that we are on target for a strategic regional approach to our broadband investments that we make in the future. Another area is the medical examiner. They now have the ability to access state-of-the-art technology which will help solve cold cases through crowdsourcing, algorithms, and DNA repositories. This real-world CSI technology will help solve crimes and bring long overdue closure to victims' families. Also in the medical examiner's office, ARP funds are being used for on-site toxicology testing. Instead of waiting months for results from the state lab, we now have our own ability for immediate information to construct prevention strategies related to overdose events, and this information is valuable for law enforcement and for those families. Through the ARP process, we have seen other ways that we could fund different priorities that came into us. And so we used Spokane County as leveraging those additional funds to meet needs in our community. These included over $53 million distributed to rental assistance to help people who are renting stay in their homes, $1.7 million of resettlement of Ukrainian refugees in the Spokane community, thanks to Vladimir, $300,000 for the redevelopment of the Hilliard Library into a mental health clinic, and $300,000 for the Native Project's Youth Behavioral and Mental Health Clinic in the West Central neighborhood. I look forward to announcing awards in the coming weeks for the upcoming categories that some have closed and some have not closed yet, are still open, which will provide ARP dollars to nonprofits, affordable housing, workforce development, childcare, community violence interventions, tourism, travel, and hospitality, neighborhood features such as parks. So as you can see on the screen, that is our website, and I would tell you to go take a look at that at SpokaneCounty.org, and that has all the latest information on ARP. Now I'd like to transition to parks and natural resource education. We at Spokane County have a long history of investing in our parks and outdoor recreation. So I invite you to take a look at some of the highlights of our Parks and Rec department.
Since the 1950s, Spokane County Parks has been offering parks and trails and pools to Spokane County residents throughout the county.
Well, we like coming to Pine River Park because just the natural beauty that's so close to home. Right down the road, we can tube down the river, we can hang out in the trees, we can picnic. There's everything that we want right here in our neighborhood.
Spokane County offers a wide variety of parks and amenities, including Camp Carroll Lodge, which is available for rent for weddings and family reunions. We have picnic shelters also available for those purposes. We have playgrounds and swimming beaches, bike trails, pretty much everything you can think of when you think of parks in Spokane. Spokane County offers Bear Lake Regional Park, Liberty Lake Regional Park, Fish Lake Regional Park. All three of those parks are amazing places to take families for swimming in the summer when it's hot, or having a family picnic or family reunion. And the fishing is excellent at all three of those parks.
Lake is unique in that you can bring your dog, you can swim, you can fish, you can hike. Of course, picnicking. In my particular case, I bring the dog to swimmer. You see people on paddle boards, you see them in kayaks, you see them in canoes. You get to see osprey, you get to see bald eagles, and a whole assortment of wildlife here.
No matter where you are in Spokane County, there's usually a Spokane County Park nearby to serve your needs. If you want to find out more about Spokane County Parks, you can visit our website at SpokaneCounty.org/parks.
So as you can see, there is a lot to do in Spokane County. For those looking for championship 18-hole golf, Spokane County offers Latah Creek, Meadowood, and Liberty Lake golf courses. Over the last 2 years, we have made many improvements and renovation to these courses to keep them beautiful, inviting, and modern. The majority of the renovations that took place over this last year were at Latah Creek Golf Course. That included a new modern kitchen and dining area, as well as a new deck and parking improvements. This last year marked the first year each of our courses went through a much-needed rebranding. Commissioner Kearns talked about the rebranding last year in his State of the County address. Since we could not be in person last year, we thought we'd want to put some of these new logo golf balls on your table. So you're welcome to take them and check out our new logos. For the golfers out there, though, we still do have a few weeks left, so make sure that you get out and enjoy our courses. Another way Spokane County is enhancing our quality of life is through our voter-approved Conservation Futures program, which has just funded 118 acres addition to Palisades Park, which will allow for future trail connectivity with Riverside State Park. Also, late last month, our Parks Department received an unforeseen opportunity for 102 acres adjacent to the Glen Rose area. The county is evaluating this opportunity now, and hopefully by this time next year, those 102 beautiful acres will be preserved in perpetuity as public open space added to the almost 10,000 acres preserved by the Conservation Futures program to date. And those trails don't happen without volunteers. So I'd like to also take time to thank the many volunteer efforts to maintain our robust county trail system. We do this with significant assistance from Dishman Hills Conservancy, the Spokane Mountaineers, Washington Trails Association, Evergreen East, and other partners. With these organizations' help, we will continue to maintain, enhance, and connect our popular trail system within Spokane County. Another improvement area is the Liberty Lake Regional Park. I'm excited that the county has received significant grant funds towards this project that will include an improved beach access and a new expanded dock, with construction expected to begin late summer of 2023. Now, it seems like it might be part of our Parks Department, but this is actually part of our Water Resources Department, the Doris Morrison Learning Center. This is located south of I-90 near Barker Road off in the Salty Slats area of the valley. This is over a decade in the making that this project honors our commitment to Bud Morrison to establish a building in his mother's name when we purchased the property from him. It's a partnership, though, because Central Valley School District donated 2 acres of their property under the leadership of Ben Small at the time, which was critical for us to have that oversight where the vista to overlook the 6,000 acres of restored wetland and the 5 miles of trails. It was also with help from Representative Mike Voles that we got $1.5 million in construction funding, capital funding for construction of the new building. The Learning Center will be a 4,000 square foot building, again, that will overlook that 600 acres of restored wetland and the 5 miles of trails. The Learning Center will provide environmental education opportunities for students and community members for generations to come. I hope you can join us when we do the ribbon cutting in the spring of 2023. And last, I want to talk about in this section our Spokane County Fair. It was all systems go, and everybody came out. Our attendance was over $210,000. People got to see concerts, livestock, do events, and the carnival rides. So thank you for making Spokane County's Fair a success, and I look forward to next year. Now we'll take a look into our initiatives on behavioral health. There's a lot of discussion going on as to what's happening with behavioral health. Spokane County has been and remains a strong leader in the regional behavioral health system of care. We continue to invest in new strategies and interventions to meet the expanding mental health and substance use challenges facing our community. This is evident in a wide array of behavioral health community services currently provided to the most vulnerable citizens of Spokane County, but also our dedication to identifying innovative programming to address emerging needs. I want to take a moment to highlight a few of these initiatives, starting with youth. The Youth Behavioral Health Support Line pilot program, also known as the Teen Text Line, gives youth a safe place to chat with someone who understands. This free, confidential service gives youth experiencing mental health and/or substance use challenges someone to talk to that has been in their shoes. On your table, you'll see a card for the Teen Text Line. I ask you to take that with you and share that. Another initiative is for student wellness school-based screening. It is a pilot project that is completely anonymous and will provide vital data on health, resiliency, and challenges experienced by middle school and high school youth to help determine the current needs of our youth in the area. The pilot is being implemented in 2 schools within the West Valley School District. So I want to thank Kyle Rydell, the superintendent from West Valley, for his partnership with us to help us lead this pilot program. And then we hope to take this further and screen over 1,000 students a year in the near future. Spokane County, in partnership with the Washington State Healthcare Authority, implemented Children, Youth, and Family Mobile Crisis Team enhancement. Within the existing mobile crisis response system, this enhancement is an additional 11 members to the crisis team who are dedicated to responding to calls involving the unique and specialized needs inherent to youth and families. Additionally, Spokane County was selected from an extremely competitive grant award process for a mobile response and stabilization services to expand youth and family engagement for up to 8 weeks following a crisis. This ensures a more equitable behavioral health continuum of care for youth and families throughout the county. Now let's transition to some of the programs we're providing for adults experiencing behavioral health challenges. The Behavioral Health Transitional Support Pilot Program will embed clinicians in shelters so clients do not have to travel to appointments throughout town. This will limit missed appointments and help the continuum of care at licensed shelter facilities. We look forward to putting out this request for proposal soon. The Homeless Outreach Stabilization and Transition Team program will engage homeless individuals with medical and behavioral health needs by deploying a team as such a nurse or a counselor to shelters or to the street, providing these services where they're at and where the need is most prevalent. Through the implementation of this new program, we will continue to break down barriers that inhibit individuals from accessing critically needed services while working to address issues of equity and healthcare disparities. Resulting from the Blake decision, there's a new Recovery Navigator program. This is a pre-arrest engagement model. The program seeks to divert individuals dealing with substance use to recovery support programs versus getting them in our criminal justice system. The RNP teams work in the field with direct partnership with law enforcement. They'll provide a wide range of coordination engagement services, including behavioral health referral, peer support services, case management, substance use treatment, housing support, and resource engagement. When interventions in the field do not work, we have the Spokane Regional Stabilization Center there to assist law enforcement and other first responders as a jail booking diversion program for eligible offenses and offers a new referral option for judges. The Stabilization Center, which opened late last fall, has already reported over 400 interventions. This facility provides services for mental health crisis, substance use, and withdrawal management with in-house capacity to allow individuals to play a place to stay safe, stable, until their next step is ready. So we're now going to take a look at a video showing the positive impact that this is having on our community.
Okay, so you're going to be under arrest for your 3 trespass warrants, okay?
When police and sheriff's deputies arrest someone for eligible offenses, they can be taken to jail or diverted to Spokane's new Regional Stabilization Center.
So usually when they want to go to treatment, we're able to provide them this resource, that we're able to take them there and get them either in a withdrawal management program, a mental health program, or co-occurring disorder.
For example, this young woman was admitted to the stabilization center after deputies found her sleeping in a flower bed.
So I offered her stabilization here, a chance to get help with her medication, and she accepted. We were able to avoid a trespassing arrest and bring her here and hopefully get her the help she needs.
Spokane County, the city of Spokane, and local leaders stood up the Regional Stabilization Center last fall when they realized someone with drug or mental health problems wasn't likely going to make a successful recovery while behind bars.
Yes, and that's what is beautiful about this facility, is it gives them that opportunity if they need mental health help, if they need to look at medications to help them with that. It does that. If they've got a substance abuse issue, then we can help them in that area.
Medical professionals at the Stabilization Center can identify care plans and prescribe medicine that can help someone ready and willing to start a new path beyond the revolving door of our county jail. Patients here enjoy healthy meals and have safe, clean places to sleep. The Pioneer Human Services staff know by providing those daily essentials, their patients are freed up to concentrate on resolving their individual issues.
I've been in treatment over 49 times in my life and realized I didn't want to quit. I didn't want to come away from my security blanket, which was, drugs and alcohol.
After 45 years of life on our streets and more than 100 arrests, Clay began his treatment here at the Stabilization Center last March.
This place made me feel comfortable enough to keep going with it, and I stuck with it. I'm still sticking with it.
Clay has now been clean and sober for 6 months.
And I still stay in contact with these people because they're my new friends, and they're real. It only took 45 years, but it was worth the wait.
I'm proud of you that you stuck with it and you believed in us to stay with that.
With the help of referrals from law enforcement, the center is now offering treatment to an average 35 patients every day. But this new way of offering people a course out of addiction would have never become a reality without regional cooperation.
Well, the issues that we're facing today really are regional issues. And so if we can come together with our regional partners to address those issues together, that's what we need to be doing. And I'm really happy with this collaborative effort to get people connected to the resources that they need.
In the first quarter of this year, 86% of the people who received treatment at the Stabilization Center reported improvement in their well-being and mental health recovery. In addition to treatment, Pioneer connected 46% of those same patients, including Clay, with a new place to live off of Spokane streets.
And I think this shows that when we really come together, we put politics aside, we're going to make a difference for our community and for our citizens.
Jeff Humphrey, City Cable 5.
So I want to say thank you to the mayor and the city of Spokane, because it was really coming together to make the video as well as making the Stabilization Center what was needed for law enforcement and for our citizens. So as you can see, these innovative programs we just covered are designed to help during significant challenges and come at a critical time, providing the support to youth and families in our community. This is only possible by contracting and working with great providers such as Excelsior, Frontier Behavioral Health, Pioneer Human Services, which are just among a few of them. With the road of recovery challenging enough to navigate alone, Spokane County is hard at work maintaining the journey less burdensome and with a lot less potholes. I had to give a shout out, to roads. So next I want to talk about law enforcement. Get my prop here. Only the county has the reach of the sheriff's office. Together with my fellow commissioners, we're committed to providing the sheriff's department with the resources they need to keep this community safe. We had a groundbreaking for the Small Arms Range and Training Center just this last April. It was a frigid, cold day, I will tell you that, when we were all out there, windy on the West Plains. This is a partnership between the Air Force, Spokane County, and the Sheriff's Office. This is the first Air Force and local government partnership in the nation. We are proud to be able to provide a shooting range and world-class training facility to both Fairchild and our Sheriff's Department. Ozzie said he wanted to break ground before he retired, and we did just that, Ozzie. So now I would like to ask Ozzie to come up. I'm going to let him explain the hat, and as my husband and I say, the man who needs no introduction, Sheriff Ozzie Knezovich.
All right, the hat. Mary is wearing the spring-summer ensemble. I'm wearing the winter-fall ensemble. And how did we get to the hats? We were sitting in command staff, and one of our lieutenants said, Sheriff, we have an idea for morale. I said, okay, well, what is it? He said, well, just a minute. He steps out, comes back in wearing a hat. I thought Chief Ellis was going to swallow his computer. We have yet to see one on his head, but that's how we came about hats. The troops went, we really would like to have this, and hey, I'm from Wyoming, that was easy. So that's the hat. Now that didn't count on my 5 minutes, did it? Okay. All right, Mary asked me to talk about a couple of things. What, in the 16 years I've been here that I'm most proud of, and I can tell you that's a hard one. You know, because we brought back Crime Check. We rebuilt the Emergency Communication Center, or system, state of the art. I am concerned about that though, because we made a promise those funds would be spent to maintain that system. They're about ready to be swept, and I'm not happy about that because we made a promise to you all that those funds would be spent one way. Crime. We kept crime in pretty much tight rein from 12 to 20. From 20 to now, it's not your law enforcement folks. It's bad policies, bad law. We need to do something to fix that. Training. I am very proud of training. That groundbreaking. Your training arm in the Spokane County is internationally recognized. We've had people from across the world come to train here. We are the only agency in the United States that has our training certified through IATLAS, which is the Post Academy Directors Association, and we're the only one that does that. Training is vital. We're building a partnership with the Air Force, a new training academy. I read in the paper, City of Spokane is getting ready to build a regional training academy. Remember, we built that with you in mind. So not too late to do some change orders. We could really have a regional training academy. We're also helping the state of Washington rewrite their basic law enforcement academy because it is currently legally indefensible. We're doing that because they recognize the work that we do in training, and I have the best curricular writer in the state of Washington, Tony Anderman. When I hired him, I knew that I could take our training to the next level, and we did. He used to work for the state. Our regional intelligence group, soon to be Real Time Crime Center, is something I'm extremely proud of because it has become known for its intelligence work to the point that it has been notified and designated as the backup for the entire state's intelligence center. And we have people from the west side that want to come to work in our center. Community partnerships. Judith Gilmore and I built many things. AGC helped us with that, and we built a apprenticeship program into the building trades, which is highly, highly successful. We can help people. We can get people out of poverty. You know, it was amazing to be at the groundbreaking for housing for our new Ukrainian citizens. What was heartbreaking is here, Sheriff, I want to go to work. We want to work. You know what, folks, we can put a man on the moon, but we can't get visas. I can't figure that out. There is something wrong. People that want to work should be able to work. Our forensics unit is accredited. Our Department of Emergency Management is working towards accreditation. What's my regrets? It will always be the Spokane County Jail. It's good to hear, though, members of our community start recognizing that we need a new facility. Folks, it was never about a new jail. It was about a new system, one built on smart justice, one that dealt with not incarcerating people, but giving them an opportunity to break the cycle of incarceration. That's how we became the third largest mental health institution in the state, because we saw the need and we started fixing the need. Our new form of government troubles me, because I envision and I predict it will become fiefdoms, and there will be no clear vision for Spokane County at that point. A reporter asked me the other day about legacy. I had to step back and go, you know, I've never really worried about that. I've always figured if you do the right thing and do your job well, legacy takes care of itself. Leadership is about doing the right thing doing the job well, and it usually pans out. You know, I have been your lightning rod, your resident bad boy, the unbreakable piñata. And I don't mind that because I don't know how many times you can ask elected officials that I've walked up and said, just make me the bad guy. Let's get it done. I don't care. Let's just get it done. It's been my honor to serve you. You are a great community. I can think of no other community that has the potential that you have. And I truly mean that. And when you finally grow up and realize your potential, you will be unstoppable. But until you stop the divide, we can't move forward. We have to stop enabling that which is crucifying our community. I hope you all well, and it has been truly the greatest honor of my life to serve you. Thank you.
I've never not known Ozzie to be sheriff, so it's going to be sad for me. I'm excited for you and your family, but thank you for your 16 years of service to Spokane County. So I want to say thank you all for being here today. That's going to be my concluding thoughts here, are that nothing is impossible. My hope for today is that you got a glimpse into many of the innovative ways that Spokane County is taking conversations to collaboration and making ideas into reality. Let's move together forward to ensure Spokane County remains the best place to live, work, and play. Thank you all for being here today.